Good evening, and welcome back to I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In, the podcast where we sit down with New England-based actors to discuss the craft of acting, projects they've done, things they've learned along the way, tales from the set, and tips on how to get your foot in the door. As always, our show is sponsored by the Parody News Network. Every week, PNN takes aim at a popular movie or TV show and parodies the shit out of it. If you're looking for humor and entertainment, not to mention a break from mainstream news programs, subscribe to the Parody News Network and enjoy watching the news again. Go to youtube.com/Parody News Network to like and comment your little heart out. PNN, your favorite movies and TV shows, satirized for your protection. And now, without further ado, please welcome the lovely and talented Ceara Comeau.
It's been a very long time since we have seen one another.
Yes.
I can't even remember. Was it an Authors Expo?
I think it was a Danvers Authors Expo, actually, now that you mention it.
And that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So, wow. It has been a very long time, and a lot has happened to you, and I'm very excited to talk to you about all of it. So, freshman year in high school, you landed the lead role in Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Is that where the acting bug truly bit?
It did.
Okay.
It did, for sure. That was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very bizarre play, because it was not necessarily, I would say it was definitely not necessarily a family friendly play. There was a little bit of like innuendos and stuff in the play that were probably not okay for a school setting with family friendliness. But I remember it was bizarre because they didn't want to necessarily use the words from Shakespeare. They wanted to modernize it. So it was so bizarre, but I had such a great time playing the lead role, and it was my first time ever trying out for anything. And I ended up beating out the girl who always got the lead. Uh-huh. So it was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. But I don't really know, at the time, in the back of my head, I'm not sure if I was actually ready for that kind of a role. But I'm very grateful for the experience that I had with it, because I learned a lot about how to work with people. And that time, I was coming into a public high school when I was in a private school for a while. So it was kind of nice to get that social experience at the very least. I actually didn't do any other plays after that with the school, not because of the content of the play itself, but I was dealing with, other high school stuff that you deal with, drama and such like that. And
the other kind of drama,
the one that you don't really want to deal with.
Right, that drama, sure.
That drama.
Sure.
But it always stuck with me. The acting part always stuck with me, and I really enjoyed, like I said, enjoy that experience.
So have you tread the board since then, or was that it?
No, I actually did a play in college. In college, we had these people who they wanted to go to college for acting, so they had to learn how to direct plays. And I wasn't the lead, but it was like a Christmas pageant kind of thing, and I really enjoyed doing. It was a very small, like, emotionally related scene. And they really liked that I did that. They liked what I did. I had like maybe a few lines, but it was one of those, it cured my little itch that I had for the stage. I remember back in high school, I also did a video for my cousin, a film that she was doing for her school, so I was the lead in that. And that was a challenging one because I had to do it all with my glasses off. Oh. And I am blind as a bat without my glasses, let me tell you.
Okay. Same here.
Yeah, I was like, I remembered I had, because she was like, here's a teleprompt or something to help me read the lines. And there was a lot of dialogue, more than I've ever had to do before. Like, I memorized it fine, but I remember I said to my cousin, I'm like, yo, I can't see anything. I'm not sure what you want, but I can't see anything. Like, we still managed to do the film. It was great and everything, but I'm like, the next time I do my glasses off, I'm going to make sure it's a smaller role.
Yeah.
And then I know I worked with KJ. I worked with her.
KJ Trainer. Shout out to KJ Trainer. All hail
All
KJ
hail.
Trainer.
And I had a lot of fun working with her on this small series that she wanted to, just test out the waters. And we had a lot of fun. I learned a lot too. We had a lot of different areas that we were filming in, her house, my house. And it was nice because I got to see not just the acting side, I got to see the filmmaking side too. So like she would show me certain things she's doing, like programs she was using, the camera she used. And I really enjoyed that because it got me a chance to see this is the other half. This is the other side. This is what the other side does. So that was really fun.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any other actors in your family?
No. However, I do have an aunt who she does a lot of set design and set decorating and dressing. She's a SAG crew member, and I got a lot of inspiration from her. Shout out to my aunt Amanda if you're listening to this.
Amanda.
And I absolutely love her because I remember when I first started out, she came over to my parents' house. We were all over at one point, and she came over just to visit because my parents live in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice like getaway place. And I remember she was just asking me just polite questions like, what is your where is your mind going? Where are you? Where's your mind? Politely asking the questions while slowly sipping her Mountain Dew and just like listening to me. And I told her, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. It's like I had a 2-hour long like dissertation ready. Like, I don't know why, but I was like, I am ready. And she's like, very quiet. There was a silence. She's like, okay, got nothing else to say. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I think you're ready. Like, maybe not ready to the extent of like, everything, but you know what you're in for. And that is something that really encouraged her because she was a little bit nervous at first because she's like, this is a different industry than writing. Mm-hmm. You're coming into a completely different universe. Are you sure you're ready? Not like in a derogatory way. She was in a caring, just I want to make sure you know what is going on.
Right.
I will never forget that conversation because I greatly appreciated how much she cared.
Yeah. And
she still does. Like, I saw her on my birthday, and one of the first things she said to me was, I am so proud of everything that you're doing. And I'm like, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry. And, like, all of the encouragement she's given me in the last few years of just doing this has been immensely helpful.
So we always have this segment of the podcast, which is the IMDb known fors. So let's talk about your known fors. So the first one that you have listed on IMDb is Amber Oak. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about Amber Oak.
So Amber Oak is the series that came from my stories.
Okay.
And that's the one that I'm currently working on. Amber Oak is such a complicated storyline. When I first started writing the series, I was probably 12. I was getting bullied in my middle school, and I didn't really have an outlet. So I started writing about a girl that literally could do anything, that could conquer all of her problems, that can solve all these mysteries. Back then, I was obsessed with Nancy Drew, so that's kind of where a lot of that inspiration came from. Mm-hmm. And when I looked back at my stories in terms of film, I realized they were all over the place. So the Amber Oak story started out as individual stories. And then when I got to a little bit older, my 15, 16-year-old years, they turned into a series.
Okay.
And then as I got to an adult, I scratched the series, and I was 21, 22, and I turned it into a science fiction fantasy novel called Memories of Chronosalis.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this wraps it up. Everything's fine. I'm not going to do anything more. And then when I got into the film, when, that one filmmaker said, if you want it, you got to do it yourself, I was like, okay, this is going to be fine. It's going to be easy. No. It was not easy. Because what I had to do was I had to literally take the individual short stories, the series, and the individual Memories of Chronosalis and combine them into one. And that was so stinking hard because because nothing was cohesive. Everything was all like and you could see the attempt at a series, but it really wasn't. So what I had to do was make it an actual series. It was almost like I was rewriting it in some ways. And so what I did was I took elements from all three and put it into the series to make it cohesive. So a lot of the elements in the series do come from the last book, Memories of Chronosalis, because that's where a lot of the meat of Amber Oak was.
What about the Sadie McAllister files?
The Sadie McAllister files is about a girl that has this unique gift that when she touches an object, that she can go into that object's past. And it was so fun to play that character. And it was a challenge, too, because Sadie is a little bit different than I am. She gets more scared than I do. So I don't really get scared. So that was a big challenge for me as an actor, to portray somebody who is scared by something like that. And I remember I had so much fun. And I actually met somebody on set who later on also helped me into the filmmaking industry on the other side of the camera. So the girl I was working with was Veronette March, and we were like two peas in a pod. We were like on screen and off screen besties. It was so much fun to act with her because she brought out in me the acting side that I've never seen. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel like I could be real with her, and it was so much fun because that's what you want to portray when you're acting with somebody. You want to portray whatever it is that person is. Like, so we were on-screen besties and we were off-screen besties, and it came through very well. And the Sadie McAllister files are now on YouTube.
Nice.
So they're on our YouTube, the Book Sisters Productions YouTube channel, so you can see all the episodes. It was really fun.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. What about the Time Travelers?
The Time Travelers. So that was one of the first episodes or first shorts that I worked on with KJ. Another shout out.
Another shout
I feel like we're just talking.
Goodness.
All it is.
He's just
KJ.
all
oh my
over
goodness.
the place.
And that was so much fun because, yes, I had a very small role in it, and it was so much fun because I could act like an annoyed character, and I'm like, oh, this is right up my alley. This is great. I love it. But I also got more of a chance to see the behind the scenes. Like what each person did, what the camera crew did, what the what whoever's doing the slate, and I got to see what everybody's part was. And I was also this was my first PA production assistant job, and I really loved it because it was on set. This is how you do it while you're also acting.
And then the other one was Within My Reach.
Within My Reach is, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go with this. It is probably next to the Amber Oak series, one of my favorite things that I've done. It is my first music video that I did with Kate Eppers. Kate and her husband did the theme song to the Amber Oak series. Oh. And for the longest time, Kate and I were going back and forth about, like, we need to do a music video. But both of our schedules just were always colliding. We never really had the chance to until we said, okay, let's do it this fall. It's after I film. Let's find a time to do it. It's not going to take long. It's only, it's like a 3 or 4 minute song. Let's see what we can do. And I had such a blast working with her. And it was such a different setting because I'm so used to, here's the script, here's what's going to happen. But in this case, even though we're using the song as a script, it was definitely unique in the sense it wasn't something that I wrote. It was something somebody else wrote. So I finally got the chance to learn and work and collaborate with somebody. And that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, is do more collaborations with people.
So we touched on it a little bit, but talk to me about Book Sisters Productions.
So Book Sisters Productions did actually, was inspired. KJ inspired me, actually, so
Another shout out. My goodness.
I know, I'm just going to be talking about KJ. It's fine. It's all good. But actually, she inspired me, like I inspired her for Sadie McAllister. She inspired me for Book Sisters because it was just slightly after COVID. And it was the first time that we both had a book event or had an opportunity for a book event. And it was actually a very emotional one because I don't know about her, but I felt very artistically drained because of everything that happened with COVID and all of the, the quarantining and stuff. And it's like, I really wanted the opportunity to safely get out there, to still be able to showcase my art, my books and stuff at the time. And she too, I think, wanted that as well. But again, because of everything that happened, nobody could.
Right.
And so this was a very, I think, emotionally exciting moment for the both of us because we had this opportunity. And so we had the chance to actually chat because we hadn't seen each other in, a couple of years.
Right.
And so we chatted, we talked, and I remember us having like, we went out to eat. We were just talking about, hey, well, we're book sisters. And then that's kind of where it kind of bled into, well, let's work on films together. And then that's where Sadie McAllister ended up coming out of. And I have to give her the credit because she really inspired me for, taking the Book Sisters and keep going with it, because the one thing that I knew I wanted to do going forward was to work with other authors to try to hopefully inspire them to get if they want to get their books into film. And a lot of authors that I've talked to have really wanted to do that. And I'm currently not at that point because I'm still working on my series, but I do want to work with other authors and do the camera work or whatever the case might be. But I want to be there for other authors to, inspire them and encourage them. Maybe they can take up the camera themselves. Because my thought was, I was not very tech savvy at the very beginning, but if I can learn it, you can learn it, kind of that mindset. But it was something that I did want to collaborate on the future authors with. So that's where the Book Sisters came from.
Gotcha. So is that sort of the operating principle of Book Sisters, is to help authors bring their visions to life?
Yes, that is I call it my 10-year plan.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because right now I don't see us right now where we're at. It's just me heading it up, and I have my parents who are helping, whether it's financially. My mom does the catering, on-set catering. My dad does set design and set decoration, and my husband does sound. He's also my assistant director, so he helps me too and edits the scripts. But it's sort of like a family thing at the moment, but it's something I'm hoping to branch out into, because when I first started Book Sisters, that was something I really said, all right, that's my future goal. Mm-hmm. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's something I really want to have happen at some point, is to work with other authors, and at the very least on my journey to helping other authors, maybe encourage them to take up the mantle too.
Once again, I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In is sponsored by the Parody News Network. Every week, PNN takes aim at a popular movie or TV show and parodies the shit out of it. If you're looking for humor and entertainment, not to mention a break from mainstream news programs, subscribe to the Parody News Network and enjoy watching the news again. Go to youtube.com/Parody News Network to like and comment your little heart out. PNN, your favorite movies and TV shows, satirized for your protection.
What's been a legitimate high point for you so far in your acting journey?
I think, and this is going to sound silly, but I think my highest point was my very first premiere. My very first premiere, and that's the high I always try to strive for every year, because we always do a premiere in a theater for the actors and the crew members and their family. And I'll never forget it. It was absolutely, it was a surprise to me in a weird way, because I knew we were planning it. I knew that it was coming. We had a red carpet. We all dolled up, everything. And in my head, I'm like, I'm doing this for my actors. I'm doing this for them to encourage them. But at the event, and they all knew the struggles we had to go through for the first episode to get it finished. And I remember, some of my extended family came, and, Kate Eppers showed up, which is so cool. She gave me a bottle of wine or something as a congratulations. I got flowers too. But it was strange because everybody was like congratulating me, and I'm like, but what about my actors? But please focus on them. Like, it was in my head, I'm like, yeah, I did it, but I did it because of them. And right. That was in my head, but it's like, I got a lot of the praise, and they just wanted all these pictures with me. And it was like, I literally felt like a paparazzi moment. And I'm like, this is incredible. This moment, that moment, I keep reflecting back on that. It was like 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I keep reflecting back on that moment. And it was that I did it moment.
Wearing all the hats that you do,
yes.
What do you find most frustrating about the business?
I think there's a double parter to that. I think what the frustrating thing is, at least for me, a lot to do with the different personalities you deal with. Mm-hmm. When I see actors, I think it goes down to the peopling, honestly. The peopling. When I see different actors who aren't taking it as seriously as other actors, I think that's what's frustrating to me, because a lot of actors, there's some actors are doing this just for fun, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But then there's other actors who are doing this because this is something they want to make a career out of. And I think the most frustrating thing for me is seeing those actors that are taking it for fun and not respecting other people's time. I think that's my biggest frustration, is seeing people that have a lot of great talent but are squandering it because they're not showing the respect that everybody else around them deserves.
Right.
And I honestly think that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
My number one pet peeve is ghosting.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yes.
And I never encountered that until I got into this business. Mm-hmm. And I never believed that people would be capable of ghosting the way they do at every stage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like they express interest and then they ghost, or they accept the part and then they ghost, or it's filming day and they ghost. I don't understand it. And I never will, and I can't abide by that.
I hate it.
That's the other thing. Like, ghosting is like not just disappearing and not saying, I don't want to do this. Like, if you decide you don't want to do it, say so.
Right.
And we all move on, and then you're not burning bridges. And also, if you're going to ghost, don't then later on in the day post on Instagram that you're at a party or that you've gone someplace fun when you said that you couldn't make it for whatever reason because you're terribly ill, or
I have seen that before,
or your grandmother died. Like, just don't, like, maintain the illusion for me.
Right.
I can't know one way or the other if what you said is true, but I can tell if you've gone to Canopy Lake Park when you said that you were supposed to be attending a funeral. So anyway,
I've had that happen before, and the next thing I know, they were working with somebody else, and I'm like, I mean, the least you could have done was lied completely.
Yeah, right. Yes, yes. Maintain the illusion.
Just something.
Keep
just
the lie
me.
going. Right, right. What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned so far?
Flexibility.
Oh, yeah?
Honestly.
In what sense?
In the sense of things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. And you have to roll with the punches. Like I said, every episode, that's what I have to deal with.
Yeah.
Every single episode, there's something that requires me to adjust what I have to do and adapt. It's like the, evolutionary concept of adapting. Like, you have to adapt to things that are changing. Mm-hmm. Because, again, you're working with people. You're working sometimes with the weather, and sometimes you're working with a location maybe you aren't familiar with. Mm-hmm. You have to adapt and adjust your schedule based off of things that might come up. Mm-hmm. It's always important to keep a call sheet, a shoot list, and then a shoot schedule. That's something, shoot list and shoot schedule is something I learned from KJ. Mm-hmm. And it's important to keep those, but you also have to let yourself be flexible enough to work around it. Mm-hmm. So say somebody is 15 minutes late. What can you do within that 15 minutes with somebody else?
Right.
So I've learned that. Because, when you're on set, time is money. Mm-hmm. And we are fortunate where we're very fast, and all of my actors are absolutely wonderfully incredible, and they're very good at their lines, and they're very good at what they do. So we're out very quickly. I usually try to do a shoot day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. a normal work day, as it were. But we get done sometimes at 3 or 4. We get done early because we're all on task.
Yeah.
But I always try to make sure that I myself am not wasting time. What can I do in the meantime while I'm waiting for Joe to show up, or whatever the case might be?
Right.
And I think that's something super important, to allow yourself to breathe and adjust. Even if you have to take 2 minutes of a internal mental breakdown,
Sure.
do it.
Sure. Yeah.
And then keep going.
Right.
That's something that I had to do episode 1. like episode 1, when one of my actors didn't show up that day because they didn't realize how far New Hampshire was and lived in Massachusetts. It was great. I was like,
there are maps.
I know, right? I was like, okay, cool. Thanks for not showing up. But I was crying because I was frustrated, and I had to not cry because I had other actors there with me. So I said, okay, what can I do in the meantime? And fortunately, I am so blessed to have the people I have around me in my life, like my husband, my parents. Absolutely incredible, because my husband pulled me aside and said, okay, this stinks, I know. What can we do instead? And that was hard for me, because a lot of the ways when I first started out, my ways of thinking, when you're writing, you have your set way and you have your set way of doing things, and you can be rigid. You can be rigid in the way that you have your schedule. Mm-hmm. But I have found out the hard way and very quickly in filmmaking, you can only be so rigid. True. You can only be. I look at the script, the shot list, the call sheet. I look at all as a guideline now. Mm-hmm. Sure. It really has to be a guideline. Mm-hmm. But I mean, as long as you can like follow it as best you can, then that's the best you can do.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I take away the experience that I've had to learn for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Are you happy and fulfilled in the New England acting scene, or do New York and LA beckon?
Well, oh boy.
So it's a tough one.
You might be surprised by my answer.
Okay.
I love New England. I love New England filming, and I love filming in New Hampshire because there's less red tape to go around with filming in New Hampshire, so it's really nice. Mm-hmm. But I would love to go to New York and LA as an experience. I don't think I would want to stay there. Okay. But I would love, like, if I could, take a few months off of my day job to go to those locations and maybe shadow somebody, I would do it in a heartbeat, because I want to absorb everything. Mm-hmm. I want to learn everything. I want to learn all the tricks of the trade. And honestly, there's only so much I can learn on my own. Mm-hmm. Like, I know experience is like the best teacher, which is for sure, but you can only teach yourself so much before learning from other people benefits more. Right. And I would love to have the opportunity to, not film myself in those areas, because I don't know those areas at all, but I would love the opportunity to work under somebody or shadow or be a PA for somebody, just to see what, the other side of the grass has. see what they do, to see if I can apply what I'm learning there back home.
But can you see yourself completely uprooting and moving there to pursue it full time? Either of those places. Most people say no, because they have very deep roots here. And
I would say yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of my roots are my family, which I'm very close to my parents and my sister, and some members of my extended family. But I think, long term, like futuristically speaking, I can see myself moving if I had the money.
Right.
Let's pretend I had all the money in the world.
Sure. Right.
I could see myself exploring. Huh. Because for me, my roots are my family, but with the way technology is nowadays, Zoom calls and stuff like that, one thing my parents raised me is they raised me to be independent. They mm-hmm. raised me to be able to the desire to pursue things, externally outside of New England. Yeah. And I am so grateful for that upbringing with the, being your own kind of person and just that exploration. And I think I could. Obviously not right now, but if the opportunity were to arise in the future, and if everything was aligned, all the stars were aligned and everything, I can definitely see myself doing that, just because New England, as great as it is, there's only so much you can do, unfortunately. there's only so much you can do as a non-union, micro-budget, you know, there's
Right.
only so much you can do. And because there's a lot of, I'd like to turn some of my other stories into films too, but that would require dragons, fairies, and more CGI than I can care to count. So that would be money that I would need Netflix money for that.
Sure.
So it'd be like something that, yeah, definitely something in the future for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other, I mean, you know, I've a lot of actors that I've worked with have done that, have just gone west to see what would happen, but they're all young. I mean, that's the time to do it, I feel like, because the longer you remain in place, the deeper the roots grow and the harder it is to
I
uproot.
getcha.
So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, if Netflix money, if they're throwing money,
I mean,
at
if they're
you,
throwing money my way, I'm going to say, when?
Yeah,
When?
where do you need
Where
me
do
to
you need me?
relocate to? And I will be there.
Yes, exactly.
No question. If you could pick one actor or actress or director to work with, who would it be?
I think one of the people that comes to my mind is Greta Gerwig.
Ah, okay.
I would love to work with her.
You could learn so much.
I could. I honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I grew up with Barbies, but I absolutely loved it. The amount of effort that went into building those sets too, and the direction. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think Greta Gerwig is somebody I would love to work with. Absolutely.
That's fair.
Yeah.
If Greta Gerwig is listening,
Please.
Ceara would like to work with you.
Absolutely.
Greta Gerwig is listening.
Yeah. Right. Hashtag.
It could happen.
You never know.
If you could give just one piece of advice to aspiring actors or producers or directors who are just starting their careers, what would it be?
Show you're serious. Show you want the role. Something I've seen a lot and more lately is actors, specifically actors. So this kind of shout out to all actors out there. I'll see a lot on like backstage that they speed apply. So they're not even looking at the call sheet. They're just speed applying. I actually had one recently who kept applying, and I kept saying, okay, do you want to audition? Oh, no, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. And I'm like, okay, well, you want this role? Sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, well, stop doing it. Stop. Just stop applying. If you're not serious, stop applying. And that's something that's frustrating because I've seen this time and time again where actors will speed apply and then they get the opportunity to audition or even they get cast. They're like, oh crap, I got cast. And they don't realize that they're going to get cast. It's like, don't sell yourself short. I think it's the biggest thing out there. Say what you mean what you say, and don't sell yourself short. Because there are sometimes I'll see actors on the self-tape, and more times than I want to count, where there'll be something in the background that's distracting. Mm-hmm. Maybe their audio isn't that great. And it's like, do you really want this? Or are you just doing this just to do this?
Right.
It's like, even if this is not your dream role, this could get you to your dream role. You never know. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm going to be the next director that has the best, Oscar-winning actor in it. I'm not saying that. But don't sell yourself short. You have to believe that you are the only one who deserves that role. Because if you don't believe it, I'm not going to believe it. And I think that's so important. And I see that a lot with the lack of confidence when they do the speed auditions or when they do the speed applying. And we see that. And it's sad. Again, it's sad because it's like, we want you. All of casting directors and filmmakers to actors, we want you. But do you really want us?
Right.
And I think that was what it boils down to, because if you apply, we like you, we go through the process, and then by the time you get to set, we don't see that. It's like, where's that oomph that we saw?
Right.
And it's like, and when you have the role, keep that momentum. You have to keep it. Because if you don't, then we're going to be like, why did we hire you again? You got to keep it. It's one of those things my mom always told me. Fake it till you make it. even if you don't see it right away, we see something in you, and that itself should be enough. Mm-hmm. If we see something in you, that should tell you something.
Right.
So I guess that's what I mean by series. It's like, yes, you can have fun. And yes, if this is a hobby, that's great. But you need to show that you are, at the very small bit, serious. Because even if you're just doing this for a hobby and you're not going to get roles if you're not at least somewhat serious about it.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. And that's why, you know, honestly, my least favorite part of the entire filming process is finding actors, because every single time there's always something we're going through like this. We always see that, and and I always tell my husband, I'm like, we have to do casting again. And it's frustrating because you're dealing with those, not everybody obviously, but you are dealing with those people who have the look, who have the sound, who can do it, but they don't think they can do it. So I think the biggest thing is you gotta believe in yourself. Without sounding cliche, you have to, at the very least, have a little bit inside of you that believes you are the only one that should have this role.
Fair enough. And finally, what's next for you?
We're still working with the Amber Oak series, so we are going to have the premiere on April 18th in Bellows Falls. We're going to have a double premiere, Bellows Falls, Vermont.
Okay.
We're so excited.
Nice.
And then it'll be immediately after, it'll be available to view on our website and through Vimeo. Amazon divorced us, so...
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was a messy divorce. So only our first episode is on, for the entire series, is on Amazon right now. They did not want the remaining episodes for reasons that they never told us, which is very Amazon-y of them. So we are currently on our website and Vimeo unless and until Netflix picks us up.
All right.
We have hope one day.
That's fair. Ceara Comeau, the girl with the blue hair, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you all again next time on I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In.
If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire podcast, and for that, thank you. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave us a review on Spotify. See you next week for another installment of I Saw You in That Thing I Saw You In.